Waiting on those of you that were over on Gino's channel. I hope you come over here and join me. I'm at a different location this morning than I was yesterday. Just wanting to show you all different parts of my new location. And just wait a minute to see who comes in here. Just enjoying life in the Philippines, chronicling my activities and my life, my past, present, future, I hope, if Lord willing. We'll see what happens. And let's just kind of sit here, and I don't know if you can hear that music in the background or traffic noise, or I don't even know if this mic is working. And just wait a little bit to see if anybody joins me. But I decided that, I would just kind of do this as I feel fit. I woke up early this morning, and just as I was getting ready to leave the house, it started raining. And I was like, yeah, it doesn't that figure. But it's okay, you still live life. If you live in Southeast Asia during the rainy season, you're going to get rain. That's why they call it the rainy season. And it's all good. So I'm sitting here under an umbrella because, yes, it's raining. And that's why I said earlier on Gino's channel, I said, if you come join me over on my channel, you'll see why I feel like a U.S. postal worker, because I'm out here doing a live stream whether the sun is out, whether the rain is out. God forbid it would ever snow over here. I live in Southeast Asia where it's hot, so I don't have to deal with snow. Because I tell you what, I spent I spent almost 4 years in Alaska. And I said 2 because I had 2 children in Alaska. And I saw enough snow to last a lifetime. And I also lived in enough cold to last a lifetime. We would go for 3 weeks at a time, sometimes longer than that, at 35 degrees below zero. Okay? So, it is what it is. And I got tired of the cold, so I really think it actually affected my body. And I can't handle the cold anymore. And if you're just joining the chat here, go ahead and hit the thumbs up for me and let me know if you can hear me. I need to check on, hold on, let me get this thing working. No, it's not going to work now. Hold on. Welcome, folks. There we go. No, it's not working yet. There we go. Now it should be working. Yeah, it's following me. Yeah, just give me a thumbs up as you come in. Say hello so I know who's here. And we're in a different location today. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. I tapped the wrong thing on my phone. And is that Kof or KOF or Kof? How are you? Where are you from? I don't understand what you're trying to say there. You said hello, so I'll say hello back. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up for me as you guys come into the live stream. I'm kind of waiting a little bit for my friends to come in here, and then we'll reveal the location. I don't think Fortune will be joining us because he had a meeting this morning. I think he's pretty busy this morning. Check that out. The rain's getting heavier. That's why I have this big umbrella I'm sitting under. But anyway, I'm at a different location here in Iloilo, and I just want to wait a little bit. This is kind of a beautiful spot too. We're right here in the heart of the city, and but there's music playing in the background. One thing I noticed, I just realized this about Iloilo this morning, is you don't have the horns beeping like you do in, say, Manila or some of the other places around the Philippines. And I did notice that there's a sign out there that says, don't beep your horn. So I think this area, maybe it's this area, but then I started thinking about it as I've driven around Iloilo. You don't hear a lot of people beeping their horn, unless they're actually getting ready to get hit by somebody. So it's kind of nice. Good morning. And just saying good morning to some folks that are walking by. And Jordan Nicholas, Good morning. Welcome. And thank you for hitting the thumbs up. You're the winner. You're the first thumbs up. I don't know what you won, but you know, you want to have a good day from me. And thanks for coming in here and saying hello. I appreciate that. Where are you from? Jordan, if you don't mind telling us, what country are you in? If you can reveal that, that would be great. And I'm here in Iloilo, Philippines, on the island of Panay. And welcome, welcome. There's more folks joining as I ramble on here about nothing. Sitting here trying not to get wet in the rain. And I said over on Lone Ranger, welcome from Oregon, one of our friends. And I appreciate that. Jordan, Florida. Ah, okay, you were born in Florida, but you're in Alabama. I'll tell you what, Jordan, I got a brother in Alabama. He lives in Madison, Alabama, outside of Huntsville. So I know Alabama, driven around there. I've flown in and out of there. So that's great, man. I love it when people come on here that have either lived in or been in places that I've lived in or been to. And that's sweet. And Jordan, you know, you probably talk like this, don't you? I get a little bit of that once in a while in my voice. There's nothing wrong with it, you know. God bless you. And anyway, Lone Ranger, how you doing today? I'm sitting here in the rain under an umbrella. I'm going to adjust it here. My back's getting wet. If I can. Well, it doesn't look like I can, so I'm just going to have to get that part of me wet. Have you been to Maine before? Are you talking about the state of Maine? I've been to Maine before, but boy, that was, oh my goodness, that's probably 38 to 40 years ago. Good morning, JP. Look, your name came up JP again. I don't know if that's because that's what I call you when I write it in there or what, or if you changed. I don't know, it's weird, man. But we're all waiting for JP to get over here to the Philippines. And yeah, Jordan, it's way cold up there in Maine. It should be cold up there already. Wouldn't be surprised if they haven't had snow already. But, you know, oh, I lost a lot of view. Oh, there we go, getting some more viewers back. But anyway, I was hoping the rain was going to stop. It didn't look like it's going to. But I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera around and reveal where I'm at unless, well, let's just do it this way and see if does anybody know where I'm at. I know that there's 4 people in the live stream, so I know if Fortune was here, he would know probably without me even revealing where I'm at. He would know already where I'm at. But so Jordan, you're kind of like me. You don't like the cold. Todd, you are definitely, yeah, I'm definitely on Earth, Todd. I think last time I checked, or last time they told me. No, I'm not at the Molo Mansion. Not at the Molo Mansion, Lone Ranger. I like your answer, Todd, because you can't go wrong with that, you know, unless you're flying with Elon Musk or somebody and you're heading out to Mars or whatever. I just saw that blast off of the Blue Horizon or Blue Origin rocket. That was kind of cool to watch. And I watched that on YouTube. Yes, JP, I am in the rain. That's why I told Gino earlier I feel like I'm a U.S. postal worker, because come rain or shine, I'm out here doing a live stream for y'all, showing you different parts of Iloilo, trying to get people to come visit me maybe, or maybe not, or just see that there's, you know, even though this is the Philippines and people think it's a third world country, it's still beautiful here, and it's modern, as much as modern can be as far as Southeast Asia. It is not a backwards country. The people aren't backwards. They might do some things differently than what we're used to in the West, but hey, that doesn't mean that they're strange or they're weird or they're backwards. They're just normal people living their lives like we're doing. All right, Jordan, are you saying hi or you're saying bye? If you're saying bye, you know, I appreciate you stopping by and coming in and talking to me a little bit. I really do appreciate that. And oh, you like the cold a little bit? Okay, I see that. And JP, I've already the other day I did a live stream from the Riverwalk, the Esplanada, or they say Esplanade, however they say it. And yeah, I've been down there. Unfortunately, the live stream I did down there the other day, it was like, that was what, 2 days ago or 3 days? It was really blurry, and I'm kind of disappointed in that. All right, Jordan, you take care. And if I understood that right, let me turn this around here a little bit so I can show you where I'm at. I'm going to reveal. Oh, it won't go any further. Oh, you know why? Because of me. So let's do this. I'll turn. I don't know. Will it let me zoom? Yes, it will. Check that out. So I'm gonna. Okay. Let it focus. Now it's not focusing real well because it's focusing on me. Let me take this off. Okay. Just bear with me while I adjust my phone. Adjust the camera here. No, it's focusing on the wrong thing. There we go. See that, folks? Iloilo City Hall. I'm sitting in front of the City Hall. I'm at the Plaza. Good morning. And this is called Plaza Libertad. And it's just another one of these plazas and parks that they have here in the cities in the Philippines where, you know, I'm sure people come out here and they eat lunch on their lunch breaks, or kids come out here and do studying after school. Now today is not many people, just some people walking by, but there's not many people out here because of the rain. But it's just another example of the beauty that you can see here in the Philippines. Now I'm going to turn this because I want you to see over across from me the view that I have. Hold on a second. Oh, that's not where we're going. There we go. Okay, look at that. That's what I'm looking at. Isn't that great? There's a fan palm over there. It looks like a dwarf fan palm. And other trees and grass, and there's park benches. I'm sitting on one of these steel park benches, so I'm probably going to get stiff. So this probably won't be a long live stream. But I just want everybody to see the beauty here is just incredible. There's traffic. This is another, and actually this traffic's not one way, it's two way around this Plaza Libertad. I keep forgetting the name. But so this is just another area that you can come and sit, bring your lunch if you want, or just chill out, talk to your friends, or just take in the beauty of God's creation, you know, as planted by the Iloilo city government. And I just thought this was great, and I thought I would, you know, I would show you guys this. All right, let me catch up here. Good morning, Marietta Go. Watching here from Leyte, Philippines. Is it raining over there, Marietta, or is the sun out? Because it's raining here in Iloilo. Thank you for joining me and everybody that's on here. Yes, Iloilo is a beautiful place. City Mall's nice, Jordan said. Yeah, JP, take that video. I hope it doesn't make you get seasick of Esplanade, but I'll try to do that again. It's just my data connection was not good down there. So I'll try to do that again. Maybe if I just sit down like I'm doing now is better. So oh my goodness, the rain's starting to get hard now. Thank the Lord for this umbrella. Okay. All right, Jordan. Hopefully I'll find something new tomorrow. We'll see how I feel when I wake up. And if not, I'll do it again soon. Just keep watching the channel. Give me a like and subscribe. I would appreciate that. Yeah, get some sleep there, brother. And, okay, Marietta, it's am I saying Mari? Is it Marietta? I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. No, it's sunny day here in Tacloban City. Yeah, I'm done with winter my whole life, JP. So I could use some warm year-round weather. JP, you know, I don't know if I said this or not. Bye-bye, Jordan. And I don't know if I said this or not, JP, but that's one of the reasons I originally went to Thailand, because when I visited there, it was warm. And I was there in, November? My first visit before I retired, and I thought, I'm going to retire here because this is fantastic. It was better than Florida where I was living. And then I found out that actually in Thailand it does get cold. Excuse me, I need to adjust this so it's going to wobble a little bit. I got to keep it under my umbrella. So anyway, let me get, you know what? I like the view of that palm tree better. fan palms. I love those things. No, let's focus on that. Anyway, JP, back to what I was saying with you is that, and everyone else too, but I'm just addressing what JP said. You can see the rain coming off my umbrella. It's really getting hard now. So anyway, I picked Thailand because of the warm weather, but the longer I lived there and I moved around and lived in different places, I noticed that it does get cold in Thailand also. If you're up in northeastern, and I wasn't in Chiang Mai during the cold season, but I'm sure it got cool there. But if you're in, I hope that rain's not too loud for y'all, but if you're in Isan, it gets cold in like January, February. There's like usually about 3 weeks of where it's cold continuously. Now, not cold like in the U.S., but when your blood thins out over here, which it will, and when it gets down to 80, I'm cold. So in Thailand, and it was getting colder that it would get down to single digits in the Celsius grade, and I would end up putting on long pants, wearing a jacket. Good morning. And so people are walking by wondering what I'm doing here in the rain like an idiot. But I'm being a U.S. postal worker, and I'm bringing y'all a live stream from Iloilo. JP says, 5 years ago, I had 5-foot snow drift beside my house and had to plow through a 4-foot snow drift in the middle of the road to get home from work. No thanks. JP, I'm with you, brother. When I lived in West Virginia, when I was still working for the Bureau, I think I was in my mid-30s. I tell you what, man. We got snowed in one time where I opened up my garage door and the snow was up to my chest. Couldn't even see my vehicles. The front door the same way, except I had a little porch there. But we had to tunnel, dig tunnels through the snow just to get out to the vehicles and to clear the driveway. Because of course, working in the prison, they still expect you to come to work. But I'm here to tell you, my road out to where I lived there in West Virginia, we were the last ones that they would ever plow. And the way they plowed the roads there where I lived, they used a road grader. So we were stuck there for 3 days because we couldn't go anywhere. And I remember that's the first time I had to call in to work and say, hey, I can't make it because of the snow. Because I usually went no matter what. I even wrecked my car one time going in because of the snow, because I know that the fellas want to go home that are stuck there. And I felt, that's just the way I'm made. I want to do what I'm supposed to do. But I tell you what, after I wrecked the car that one time, I said, I'm not doing that again. So I didn't. So 3 days. I told them, you want me to come to work, you come get me. I found out they were going to get some of the maintenance staff and stuff like that, but they didn't come get me, so I didn't go, unfortunately. I felt bad for the people stuck there. Marietta, by the way, my YouTube channel is, yeah, hi Maria, I think I subscribed to you already. And if not, I will. And my real name appeared on the screen. I'm your new subscriber. Okay, if you subscribe to me and your subscription is made public, is it I Maria? Is it I Marie, or is it supposed to be Ave Marie TV? Is it I Marie TV? I think I subscribed already to you, but if I didn't, I will. And that's kind of how I operate. If someone subscribes to my channel and it's a public, I can see them, I will subscribe back, whether they're doing YouTube or not, just out of respect. That's just how I do it. Lone Ranger says, when I lived in Wyoming, we had 30 days with a high temperature of -30. Yeah, Lone Ranger, welcome to Alaska. I was stationed at Fort Wainwright, which is in Fairbanks, Alaska. I know all about that, man. And I know about ice fog. And, I saw that Canadian C-130 heartbreaking plane crash because caused by the ice fog. And they didn't make the runway. They hit the riverbank, and that plane just broke into like 3 pieces. I won't go any further. It was just gruesome. It's something you never forget when you see it. And but anyway, I know all about the cold. Totally know all about the cold. Yes, sir. Subscribe already. Yeah, I appreciate that. Is it? I really want to say your name right. Do you want us to call you Marie, or just tell us what you want us to call you, because I've seen you on the other channels also, on the other live streams. And I like to be correct, addressing people correctly, because, you know, people, especially in the Philippines, they have trouble with my name, even though it's such a simple name in English. Let me show you something else. I think you've looked at that palm tree enough. I want you to show you something that's indicative of the Philippines. Now, you see that statue of that gentleman right there? Now, I'm sorry, it's the backside. I have to walk over there. I want to see the front. Does anybody know who that is? You'll win if you do. You know, I'm not going to win anything, but I'm just going to tell you you'll win. But that's Mr. Rizal there, the Philippines hero. In just about every town, they either have a memorial or a statue to Rizal, because he's very important in the Philippines history. Yep, you guessed it, that's Rizal. You know, and you know why? Because Rizal, he's in every city in the Philippines just about. Now I'm trying to think, in San Juan, I'm sure there had to be Rizal. I'm sure Rizal had to be there in San Juan, Batangas, where I live. But I don't remember seeing a statue. But I'm sure there had to be a plaque or something. And what's interesting in this plaza, here, we'll go over there. Oh, wait, hold on now. There's a sign that says Plaza Libertad, and that's the public toilet, CR. And over here, you can't see it, but through the vegetation, there is a steam locomotive. And I might just have to walk over there in a bit. But anyway, that was brought here to the Philippines. It was built in 1923. I read the plaque over there. That's pretty cool. And it ran from Iloilo up to, now I'm drawing a blank where it went up in Capiz. I draw a blank sometimes. That went up to Capiz, and let's get it back here so you guys can see my weathered face, and let's get this thing back on me. There we go. So anyway, I read that plaque. It was just interesting. They used that locomotive to go from Iloilo to Capiz, and now it's sitting here. I'm trying to center this a little bit. Now the rain's getting less, so that's good. And yeah, you know what, Marietta, or Marie, please tell me what you want me to call you, so I want to be correct. Yes, and when I walked in here, even though it was raining, they were out here sweeping up the leaves. There was 2 staff out here cleaning up, 2 city workers, I'm assuming, and they were cleaning up everything and trying to make it look good, because, you know, there's a lot of trees here, and, you know, the wind blows, trees come down, they fall out here in the plaza and on the tile. Yeah, and that's pretty much almost every little park or plaza that I've been to in the Philippines. They have staff that keep it clean, because you know what, I know they really take pride of these public areas. Now, granted, Philippines is just like anywhere else. U.S. and Manila, you see, there's trash, and you're going to see that, and but not in these places. They keep them cleaned up. Good morning, James and Karen. Welcome. Thanks for popping over. I know you guys are extremely busy. So, you know, anytime James and Karen visits your channel or they come into your live stream, you know, you got to thank them, because they are so busy. I've never seen people work so hard on things in my life. And I tell you what, Karen, I don't know how she has time to even help. She is cooking all the time and doing stuff when she's not doing karaoke, of course. But, you know, yeah, I love those guys. They treated me so well when I was up there. I just can't say enough good things. And I'm going to keep saying it every time I see them come on here. It probably embarrasses them, because they're very humble people. But you know what? Each of us need to be humble with ourselves. But, you know, other people sometimes are going to pat you on the back. And that's when you just say, you know, thank you. And don't let your head get big. You know, don't let it swell up. Just say thank you, and be thankful that the good Lord is helping you to be nice. Good morning. Hello. Lovely weather, right? Welcome to Iloilo. Lady walking by, big old umbrella, I think bigger, about the same size as mine, maybe a little bigger. At least she appreciates my humor. She said good morning, that's great. And yeah, JP, Marie, I just subscribed. I will be arriving in Calibo before the first of the year. I hope you visit. I hope to visit Leyte sometime in the next couple years. I think JP is going to go everywhere. Okay, Marie, thank you for clarifying that. And even though my sometimers creeps in, and I really appreciate you being here with us, Marie. And because I've seen you other channels, so thank you for being here on mine. And I hope you enjoy some of this. And yeah, Marie's good morning, sir. JP, thanks a lot. I will visit your channel, sir. Thanks, Marie. I don't know what JP's doing yet. If he's doing JP, you doing? I can't remember if you're doing anything over there or not. I think JP eventually might. If he starts traveling around, it's fun to do this YouTube. It does involve some work, and that's what I mean about James and Karen. They work at this, and they deserve any thanks or any appreciation anybody can give them. They deserve it. So, yeah, James, thank you. We enjoyed the visit very much. You know what? I enjoyed it so much. I called James trying to invite myself to come visit them again. You know, it's kind of tacky to invite yourself to visit somebody, but you know, sometimes the Colonel, I don't have any social graces, I guess, and but actually, I saw James working the other day. I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing anything. I need to go up there and help him. I've dug up some ground, and I dug up my yard in San Juan Batangas and planted a garden. I actually had a really good garden. I was fighting the bugs. No matter what I sprayed or 7 Dust or whatever I used, it didn't matter. And if I wasn't fighting the boring bugs, the worms and things, I was fighting the ants. The ants, I dislike the ants as much as they dislike me. And every time I'd walk out my yard, I wouldn't be out there more than 5 seconds, and I'm not exaggerating, and they would be biting my ankles and biting my feet. And I'm like, it's like they had radar stations set up at my sidewalk. Hey, Colonel's getting ready to walk out in the yard. Get ready, troops. You know, formation, attend, home, forward, march. And then it'd be all over me. I'm like, that's crazy. That's some crazy stuff. Sorry about the little drill and ceremony there. I had a flashback of the military. You know, yeah, I mean, I love my time in the Army except when they were harassing me about my weight. And I wasn't even fat, and I was almost maxing the PT. But they still, you know, thank you, Bill Clinton, for downsizing the military, and I got caught up in your nonsense. Wait, I'm not supposed to talk about politics. Sorry about that. Not my favorite president. He did some good financial things, but never mind. All right. Marie says, you're so friendly, a good humor. You know, Marie, I'm such a grumpy dude, you know, in regular life. When I retired, I decided, you know, levity is the best medicine. And even when for those of you that don't know, I worked in a federal prison. And I've seen things I wish I'd never seen. I saw worse things in the prison than I ever saw in the military. And it's such a serious business. And you're dealing with the lives of individuals that are in a very serious situation, and sometimes precarious situation. And they're very serious about their situation. Now, you see some laughing sometimes, but you're dealing with incarcerated people. That's no joke, and very stressful. Stressful for them, stressful for the staff. So I would try to make light of some things, probably that I shouldn't have made light of, and that's why I have such a warped sense of humor. But, you know, you have to laugh, otherwise it wears you down. And you take that stuff home with you. I don't want to get off on this tangent. That's a whole subject for a whole nother video. But anyway, that's why I laugh about everything now. I try to have a good sense of humor. You know, even everybody keeps harping about it, and I shouldn't even bring it up. But you know, my bike slipping in the mud, and everybody's, oh, you know, this, that, and the other. I said, you know what? I just laughed about it. I was mad at myself. And I told James I'm mad at myself. But you have to laugh. You just got to laugh about it, you know, even at adversity. And be thankful to the good Lord that, you know, you're still alive and you didn't get injured worse. Because, you know, no matter how bad off we are, even if we have a terminal illness, there's always somebody worse than us. Always. You're still alive. maybe they only have 1 minute to live. So there's always somebody better off, and there's always a reason to be thankful for life. And just I mentioned this the other day, like that young fella in the Dallas Cowboys. He got into some difficulty and felt like he had to run away from the police, and he ended up crashing his vehicle and he shot himself. Why? And evidently there were some signs, and the people they ignored the signs. And some people realized there was now it's coming out, the security guard, he noticed something was up and said, go check on him. Good morning. And so anyway, take care of yourselves, take care of your mental health, laugh a little bit. Enough of that. Laugh anyway. JP says Karen is not just cooking, she is flying drones. Yeah, you better believe it. Keeping James in line. Yeah, that's a full-time job right there in of itself, I believe. I'm not there all the time, but yeah, Karen, James, he's a live cannon sometimes. He's always thinking of something to do and thinking about something. I think the wheels are always turning in my head, but I think his are turning just a little bit faster than mine, maybe a lot faster than mine. And he's tending the garden, washing motors. God bless her. Karen, thank you again. She washed all the mud off my motorbike for me. Because I was looking at that like, man, I need to do that. But I just was feeling, I'm like, man, I don't want to do that, but I need to do it. And then I'm thinking, I got to drive through that muck again. But you know what? She drove through the muck again for me. Went downtown or somewhere and washed all that mud off for me. Karen, God bless you for that. And cooking, yeah, she's an amazing Filipina. But you know what? Maybe not all, but I'm venturing to say about 80 to 90% of all Filipinos are amazing. Good morning again. Yeah, I'm live streaming, just talking about the beauty of here in Iloilo and the nice, friendly people. Yeah. The camera's on me, though, not you. And same lady as before. She's very friendly. JP, Marie, at this point, I do not have a channel. I do want to travel and maybe help other YouTubers create content. Oh, that's very noble of you, JP. And you know what, even if JP doesn't have it, everybody on YouTube has a channel, whether you realize it or not, but it doesn't mean that your channel's active. You can still go subscribe, and then you'll be there if he ever does. I never knew that until I started doing this. I was like, oh, okay, I got a channel. I didn't know that. And then I changed the name to the Colonel's Chronicles because I want to chronicle my life. And, and for those of you who don't know what Chronicles is, my Filipino friends might not be familiar with that English word. It's just keeping a record, excuse me, keeping a record, taking of activities or history, or for me, is keeping a record of my life or telling my life story, which I still haven't done all of that, but I'm going to do that. And I think I decided I'm going to shorten it to like 15-minute segments, and so everybody doesn't have to be bored for an hour or however long I start talking. And Ricky Hernandez, welcome to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. Hey, everybody give a shout out to Ricky Hernandez. I'm okay with that. Well, Ricky, I'm a little damp right now, sitting under an umbrella here in Iloilo, Philippines. Where are you at? If you don't mind telling us, share with us. If you don't want to tell us, you can make up a place, but the trust level goes down. It's all good. And JP saying hi to James and Karen. That's great. JP said hello again. Marie, hi sir, JP. Make a YouTube channel. It's enjoyable. Me, I retired early. That's why I find a way that I will not be bored here. Yeah, Marie, everybody says I retired early. I don't think I did. It wasn't early for my job, but because I was federal law enforcement, they allowed us to retire at 50 years old. And I was at the point, I could have gone further. You can go to your 57. And honestly, I wanted a couple more promotions, but, the stress wore me out. I was on call 24/7. I was in an executive position, or what they call, they say you're part of the club but not a member. That was me. But you know what? I still had all the membership privileges, which meant having a BlackBerry where they could call me 24/7. I would get phone calls at 2:30 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, because they were required phone calls to notify me about things or ask for authorization to do this, that, and the other. And it's just, we have policies in the Bureau, and so it was required. But it wears on you after a while. It really does wear on you, and you got to have strong intestinal fortitude and be a relatively strong person. The higher up you go in some of these government agencies, most people just see the news and they see the media. They don't know what it's really like. All they're seeing is what's being portrayed. What you got to do is, boots on the ground and come talk to those of us that are really doing it, and most of us are honest about, not everybody, but I'm very honest about what I did. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent, But I actually cared about my work, cared about my job, I cared about my people. Some of them didn't think so, but they had no idea. I was more concerned about my staff than anything else and their safety. A lot of them in the union, mainly because of the union, he doesn't care about his staff, blah, blah. Whatever. Oh, and we're getting negative. Let's get positive. I say all that with a chuckle. But anyway, yeah, JP. JP's busy right now. He's getting ready to make a big move, and it's a big change in his life. And during that time, you don't have a lot of time to be doing stuff on YouTube. But just him helping those of us that are on YouTube, helping us put content out there. And JP, I'd love to interview you when you come over here, and I'm sure a lot of other people would too. So hopefully we'll be getting together. And yeah, JP, we got a lot in common. We got a lot to talk about, brother. That brother in blue. I mean, it's just the way it is. And yeah, we'll sit down and I think we can have a really good discussion about that, depending how open you want to be about what you did, and we'll talk about that. And we probably have a lot of things in common. We might have some difference in opinions, but that's what makes the world go around. Not everybody's the same. I don't want a lot of colonels running around, people like me. That's a scary prospect, because without the good Lord's help, I don't like people, but I do this, and by doing this, I like people. I like everybody that comes on here. Good morning, Gino. Unless that's Dazzle, I'm assuming it's Gino. Thank you for coming over, brother. Appreciate everything you do, and I just can't wait to see you soon. That's going to be a good time, and I'm going to do everything I can to be there. I might, even if I got to walk, I'm going to be up there in Calibo for our little get-together. I'm looking forward to that. John Vasquez, hello, alien. Good morning. JP saying hello to Gino. And Gino saying hello to JP, because, in the Philippines, we're polite to each other most of the time. Hello, Diane Wolf. Welcome to the channel. As you come in, say hello to the host and give a thumbs up. I would just say give a thumbs up whether you want to or not, just for something to do, keep you busy, especially if you get bored while I'm talking. And anyway, like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, do it. It helps me out a little bit, at least with the algorithm. I think as I go on and as this channel grows, it will allow me to do more things and maybe of greater entertainment value for everybody, and if not for everybody else, just for me. JP is saying hello to John Vasquez. Yeah, that's a nice Y there, John, or maybe the praying hands. In Thailand, that would be a Y, and that's a show of respect. In Thailand, a greeting, that's what they do there. JP says, I thought about volunteering to interview you for your channel. I have bad cop, worst cop thing. You know what, JP? I'm just going to have a moment of silence on that before I respond. Because I'm not giving... He made me choke on that. You know what? I'm not even going to comment on a bad cop or worst cop. That's funny, brother. That's funny. We'll talk about that more at another time. You see me smiling, my face lit up at that. I think that's hilarious. I tried to be on the up and up about everything. But if I'm honest, I've done some things I'm not so proud of. And if I had to go back and do the same thing or do it again in that same situation, I got to be honest, unfortunately, I'd probably do the same thing I did the first time. I'd like to say I wouldn't. But you know what? We are who we are. And everybody says that, boy, I wish I could go back and do over. You know what? Unless you've changed who you are, if you go back in the past for a do-over, you're probably going to do the same thing that you did. No, I wouldn't do that. I would do this differently. No, you wouldn't. You'd like to think you would. But unless you've changed who you are, or your habits, or your health, or your mental acuity, or your spiritual life, you're more than likely going to do the same thing you did before. Think about that. Think about that. You might think I'm crazy, but if you think about it, you're like, hey, you know what? He might be right about that. It's okay. You don't have to agree with me. JP says, 3 of the officers who were my field training officers when I was a rookie did 30 years and retired. All passed away, I'm paraphrasing, passed away less than 2 years after retiring. I decided 30 years is not worth it. Yeah, brother, you know what, JP? I tell everybody in the Bureau, why are you sticking around? Only a few people appreciate you being there. I appreciated all my people being there. I'll be honest, some I wanted to retire before they were able to, but that's for other reasons. And but you know what? Don't stay in a high-stress job longer than you have to, because it wears out your body. Stress has taken its toll on me. I think I look older than I am, and I know that I feel older unless I do this. When I do this, oh yeah, look at that face, looking good, Colonel. Look at that, two-faced. But anyway, yeah, stress has effects on the body, and unfortunately, my body has some of those effects going on, and I'm not sharing all my health history with everybody. But it does age you, and it does affect you mentally, physically. I don't think enough studies have been done to show the effects that stress can have on people. So I agree with you. Retire as early as you can. Do something else in life. If you enjoyed your job, great. I didn't enjoy my job. I tried to enjoy it when I was there, but it was not a job that I chose because I always wanted to be a correctional officer. I always wanted to be a correctional worker. No, I didn't want to do that at all. I did it out of necessity because I had a family to support when I got out of the Army, and I had no money because Army salaries back then for enlisted was nothing. I remember looking at some of my old LESs, and those of you in the military know what LES is, leave an earnings statement. And I was making annual salary. That's some of my taxes, $5,000 a year. Lower enlisted at the time, of course. But I was like, how did I survive? I know how I survived. I worked a second job. When I would get off duty, I would go deliver pizza. You know? And the wife at the time, she was working at Walmart. I mean, you know, it's crazy back then. I think the military now would still say they don't get paid enough, but you know what? Y'all make a whole lot more, and it's a whole lot better than when I was in the military. And other people like Michael Lee White and stuff, he'll tell you the same thing. We didn't make squat for what we had to do, you know. Especially if you figure out for an hourly wage, you don't make anything in the military, you know, because you could be on duty at a moment's notice. But you know what? Having said that, I'm not complaining. I would do it all over again, and I would serve my fellow citizens of America all over again, and I'd be there, and I'd die for you if I had to, because that's what I was willing to do when I was in the Army. I made peace with God about that, and I was willing to do that, and I'd do it again in a hot minute, even though I love living here in the Philippines. That doesn't mean I don't love the U.S. I don't like what I see going on in the U.S. right now. It's heartbreaking. It really is. Thank you, Obama. Oh, we're not supposed to talk about politics. But anyway, I love my country, and I love my people in the country, you know, citizens of America. I don't like the interlopers that are trying to come in illegally. Enough said on that. I really don't want to talk about details too much. JP, if we talk about details, that'll be off camera, brother. And if you don't want to talk about it, then we don't have to. But sometimes, I'll tell you the truth, it helps to talk about it. And usually when I talk about it, I laugh, because that's how I deal with that stress. You know, it helps to get it out and talk to somebody. You don't need to do it here. I'm not asking you to do that. But if I interview you, you know, it can be a benign interview. Don't worry about that. Good morning, Ray. Thanks for getting out of bed. You got a hangover, brother? Or are you cooking early this morning? That chili looked good. Not as good as mine, but it looked good. No, I'm just kidding, messing with you. But I can make a mean pot of chili too. Hello, Ray from JP. Hey, JP. Everybody's there. Lone Ranger saying hello to Ray. It's all. I love it when seeing people say hello to each other. It's great. I love that. Yeah, you slept in. It's here in Iloilo, Ray. It's good morning to sleep in. Unfortunately, I didn't do it. Oh, you missed Gino. That's too bad. Gino is like that's a morning uplifting session there with Gino. He makes you smile whether you want to or not. You just can't help it. Gino saying hello to Ray. Yeah, good morning, Lone Ranger from Ray. Hey, Gino from Ray. Yeah, Gino. Hey, I don't think there's anybody on here that's not, but if you're not subscribed to the people that's on my channel, write their names down and go over there and go ahead and get on their channel and subscribe. It helps them out, and that would be a good thing, and it allows their channel to grow. Hold on, I'm doing some housekeeping here, and anyway, it would be a good thing if you would go over and subscribe to their channels. And if you haven't subscribed to mine, go ahead and subscribe to mine. I think that's a good thing. I'm making some people moderators here so that you can click on each other's channels and subscribe. Let me add my brother here. Sorry about the shaking on the camera. Sometimes I leave my mouth. I'm not catching flies. I'm just getting old and I'm forgetful. Good morning, Nikki. Nikki says hello to everybody. Thanks for joining us. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up, y'all. If you haven't done that, I appreciate it. Michael C., you made it, brother. That's great. Good to see Michael C. in the house. Saw him over on Gino's channel, and I've seen him. He did a dual live there with Ray one time. I thought that was great. I caught some of that. Good to see you. And good morning, Michael. Hope you're feeling well, and hope all is well where you're at up there in Tracy, an area that I actually know pretty well, which I don't want to get into right now. But anyway, JP, I used to lightly smoke a roast and then slow make it into chili. Dang, JP, you made me hungry, man. I love slow cooking. I haven't done smoking yet. I want to get out where I got to find me a lady first, of course, but I want to get me a piece of property, and I want to build a smokehouse. It's going to be interesting because it's so hot over here to try to do a smokehouse. So you kind of got to do a cool smokehouse because you're already going to have the heat coming in that your little building. And anyway, that's something I've always wanted to do. I want to smoke some meat over here and do stuff with that. That's great. Ray says that's Marie. Ray, she likes to go by Marie. For some reason, her name is jacked up when it comes over here on YouTube, but that's Marie. Thanks for saying good morning to her. And JP, I'll miss my smoker in the Philippines. Well, JP, you just got to put yourself in a situation where you can have another smoker. Problem solved right there, brother. Good morning, Michael from Ray. And Marie saying good morning to you, Ray. Ray's got a pretty good channel too, Marie. Well, all of us do that are doing the YouTube thing. It's worthwhile to check everybody out. Everybody has their own style and their own content. And, you can glean the good things from it. If there's stuff you don't like, ignore it. That's what I do. Or leave. That's what I do too. If they're irritating me, I leave. But Lone Ranger says, shout out to Frank and Fel, the Philippines there in Iloilo. I'm in several of their videos. Yeah, Frank and Fel. He doesn't come over and join me much. I think he's forgotten about me, and that's okay. But I met Frank and Fel up at the Canadian Beaver up there in Bye Beach, Rojas City, which is where I wanted to go. But, I ended up here in Iloilo, and I'm not complaining about it, I just realized I'm sitting here in the rain probably making myself sick. Probably not real smart. So I'm going to shut this down pretty soon. We're going on towards 50 minutes. I'm starting to feel it in my throat. I think I need to go get something to drink. But Ray says, yes, JP, one day I'll live somewhere where I can have a smoker too. Yeah, you can't do that in that condo, Ray, unless you had a balcony. But even then, I think your people living there probably wouldn't be too happy. Lone Ranger, shout out to Frank and... Yeah, we did that already. I'm sorry. Gino says, I've been thinking about getting a custom-made smoker, JP. Maybe you can help me design when you get here. Yeah, Gino, there's actually a couple companies here I've seen on Facebook here in the Philippines where they're already fabricating smokers. And I can't remember off the top of my head. If I find that, I'll send it to you. I'll send you the link. But yeah, it's barbecue on Facebook. I gotta remember I'll have to look for it again. I think I follow them. And I'll send that to you. But they make smokers, and they look really heavy-duty, high quality. They don't look like some of the cheap stuff I saw in Thailand. Ray says, Frank is awesome. He gifted 10 memberships in my live last night. Well, you know, Ray, thanks for that. Good morning. And thanks for that, Frank, because that's how I was wondering who gave me that. I couldn't see who gave that to me. And I appreciate that. That was pretty cool. Very cool. Michael C. Morning, Ray. Morning, JP. Good morning, Gino. Thanks, Michael, for that. And hi back to you, Michael, from Gino. I love it. Everybody's being, you know, polite to everyone else and being good to other people. I had somebody last night not being so polite to me, and I don't know why she does. Well, I do know why she does that, but anyway, enough about that. Ray says, yes, Marie subbed yesterday. I watched her video, Eating Good Food. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Marie said, hi, Sir Ray. I'm your subscriber. Hi, Marie TV. I just watched your video last night. Laughing. That's great. You know, everybody that's on here, thank you for the support. Not just my channel, but everybody else's that's on here. I really appreciate it, and I know they appreciate it too. Good morning, Dazzle TV. Gino from Michael C again. JP says, best smoker I've ever had was an old 1956 oven. It had a vent in the top. I was seeing where you were going with that, JP. It had a vent in the top. I just had to add ventilation on the sides, and a single burner could do a whole 25-pound turkey. And I never thought about that, JP, but that's a good idea, man. See? That's why you talk to different people in different parts of the world. They got different ideas about things. And you might see things over here, JP, that you're like, wow, I never thought about that. Because, you know, I'm going to say something now controversial. And you're welcome, Gino. I'm going to say something controversial. And you guys can disagree with me if you want. But I just like to keep it real. But in my over 11 years of being outside the U.S., I've been back 3 times, but being outside the U.S., living over here in Southeast Asia, and I lived in Europe also before, I'm just going to say an observation that I made. A lot of Americans, look at that, I'm giving free advertisement to Time Zone. Oh my goodness. But anyway, I've noticed, I can't get away from it, stick it behind my big head. I've noticed that Americans predominantly, either on purpose or because we just don't know any better, because it's the way we're raised in our culture, in our country, we can come across as arrogant. And we think that we're just a little bit better than everybody else. And I'll have people say, well, that's because we are. Well, that's okay. You can think that, okay? But I've found that, you know what? People are the same no matter what country you go into. And there's people at different levels and there's different aspects of their life where, you know what, they might know more than you. I met an older fella in Thailand. That guy, and I'm a woodworker, okay? I know what to do with wood. I know how to make things, and I've made some nice projects and stuff over the years. Some nice furniture and cabinets. This guy worked with bamboo. And this guy, he was amazing. I don't have half the skill that he had, and he doesn't use machinery. He does everything by hand. And I mean, I need to show him. I got 3 fishing creels. For those of you who know what a fishing creel is, I got 3 fishing creels from Thailand that he handmade out of bamboo. And then I watched him make some stuff. It's just amazing. So, you know, if you're an American or a foreigner, even from another country, I've seen the same arrogance from Russians. No offense, it's just an observation. And Germans too. Oh my goodness. But anyway, put away the arrogance. Put away your pride a little bit and appreciate people in other countries and their skills and their knowledge of what they do. Michael Lee White's a good example, living over there in Masbate. He married into a family of fishermen, a fishing family. And they go out on those boats and they put those nets out there, those long nets, and they're gill net fishing and whatnot. And it's just amazing what they do. I don't know how to do all that. They know the tides, they know where to drop the nets, they know where the fish are going to be. It's just amazing. So appreciate other people. Yes, JP, I love fishing. I don't like to eat it, but I love fishing. Let me catch up here. I got off on a tangent there. And here we go. Yeah, stainless steel racks in that oven, they were super solid. That's great. And I got the idea from AI. This is JP from who used an old refrigerator. There you go. I'd worry about an old fridge, about the insulation melting. I don't know if they use styrofoam. Ray says that would be a good fabrication project if I'm ever in a house instead of a condo. Yeah, you're right, Ray. Let's see, Nikki Evans says, I'm not better than anybody. We should love everybody and try hard to go that everybody be kind. Yeah, Nikki, I wasn't indicting anybody on here, and I wasn't saying anybody on here was like that at all. I was just commenting in general. So I apologize if I offended anybody with what I was saying. That wasn't my intention at all. I was just making an observation. And all the people usually that come in here on my channel and the channels that I visit are good people. And most are not arrogant. Some are a little bit. And you know who you are. Myself included. Okay? Marie, hi Sir Colonel, I have to go. My phone needs a charge. Yeah, I need to check mine. No, I'm good. Okay, Marie, thanks for hanging out with us and thanks for commenting and making this a good time. Appreciate that. It's always great to meet new people. And I saw you on the other channel, but it's nice to have you on mine and talking to us. That's great. Yep, absolutely, Nikki. Good morning and welcome. Yeah, I'm cognizant of the reality that some people might misunderstand what I'm saying or take what I'm saying the wrong way. And you know what? It's okay. You can do it. I might take what you say the wrong way. When Jen visits me and I say stuff, she always misinterprets what I say the wrong way. And it's okay. God love her. God bless her. That's just the way she's made. Love you all. Thanks, Nikki. Yeah, it's nice people. I love them. JP says, Gino found a nice fishing spot down on the Esplanade. Yeah, they fish out over there. I'm going to do that someday. I just want to be careful about how I do it. Because being a foreigner, people are going to look at you like, what are you doing? But I've seen some Filipino guys, older fellas, fishing down there. And honestly, if I fish something, I'm going to give it to somebody if they're there. I'm not going to take fish from somebody else because I don't eat it. Or I'll throw it back. Fish there, you can give your fish to your new Filipino. Yeah, exactly, JP. I didn't see that, JP. I was saying what JP was saying. See, JP, we already think alike, brother. That's my line, Nikki. I say that at the end of every video. Yeah, I don't. Maybe I'm wrong for it, but it's okay. It should be understood that I appreciate everybody that comes in here. Well, we're 1 minute from the hour mark, which is when I usually like to cut it off. So let me get these chats in here. And I know I wasn't. Oh, Nick said, I know I wasn't. I was just saying, agreeing with you. Thanks, Nikki. Yeah, okay. I misunderstood. I thought you were offended. I apologize for that. Scuba Steve in the house. Hello, Colonel and family, meaning you all out there. How you doing, Steve? You got me right here at the end. I'm getting ready to get off of here because I'm starting to not feel good a little bit. I need to get something in my stomach, I guess. Hello, Scuba Steve from JP. Gino, hello, Scuba Steve. Ray, hey, Scoob Dog. Lone Ranger, Scuba, and Gino. Good morning. She didn't know I was talking to her. All right, y'all. I'm going to sign off here. Steve, I'm glad you can make it in. Good morning. I'm glad you guys can make it. Thanks everyone for joining me. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the new subscriptions. For those of you that subscribed, I really appreciate all that. Wow, what's it mean when your nose is itching? My nose is itching now. I hope I don't get pneumonia from sitting out here. But anyway, y'all take care. The Colonel is out. Take care. God bless.